What did you first notice about me, my love? What part of my body spoke to you when you spied me across the room? Was it my hair with its loose curls falling about my shoulders, shimmering moon silver and streaked with secret greens and purples? Or perhaps my legs, stretching endlessly from the floor, ankles and calves wrapped in the soft black leather of my sandals? If you were a man, I would assume you noticed my breasts first, and maybe you did. They weren't shy that evening. I was particularly pleased with the glamour I wore and wanted to know how they felt in someone's mouth. Wonderful, my love. They felt wonderful in your mouth. I was coloring last night and I found a crayon so close to your eye color it stole my breath away. I must have stared at it for an entire hour, rotating it in my hands, smelling it, holding it next to the only picture of you I have left. I even called the crayon makers and asked them if they knew you, if you inspired them, but they said no, they aren't allowed to be inspired by anyone. They have to make it up on their own. That made me angry because it isn't true. They didn't make up that color. They only named it Smoky Topaz. Smoky Topaz. I broke the phone after that, which was good because I shouldn't be using it, but it was also bad because Sonia gave it to me in case of emergencies. She said I could call her if I had an emergency, but if I really had an emergency, what could she do? I kept it around so she could call me though. But isn't that exciting? Smoky Topaz, the name of the color of your eyes. The eyes that shone across me eyes that I saw from across the room, sparkling and smiling and flashing and penetrating. I felt them, my love, felt them penetrating me, and I shuddered. You humans don't seem to remember the power your eyes have. When you are babies and they are pure, unblemished by the weariness of your world, they draw adults to you. They, even more than your cries, are what magnetize you. Eyes are the Loki of your ancient magic, each shade and variation significant, both telling and covering subtle truths. Smoky Topaz. That first night when I spied you across the room, I saw the word delight dance out from the dusky depths of your irises. It came in wisps and whispers, and as you looked about the room, a hazy blue flowing ahead, above, behind you. Is it boasting to tell you how it coalesced and solidified the moment we spoke? How it swelled when my fingers found yours? How it multiplied as I lay you down in my bed? I do not mean to boast, my love, but this is what happened. Your eyes spoke, for that is what they do. This is your ancestral magic. And I read them as I do. I am a creature of stories and of magic, and I shall read wherever I find them. Smoky Topaz. You explained to me one hot night when I was itching and sweating and only wanted to go swimming that the boy didn't die, he was killed. You said murdered, in fact. And you said it wasn't just him who was murdered, he was only the most recent. Your words fell out of your mouth, one after the other, an unending sentence strung together with fire and passion, each fragment an ember threatening to burn down our room, the apartment, the whole damn block, scratch that, the whole fucking country, in a righteous cleansing of a land defiled, a people enslaved, a flaming wave of vengeance unleashed upon the sons and daughters of a nation built on a foundation of evil and solidified by hate. They will pay, you said. Tonight they will pay, and tomorrow they will collect the fragments of whatever we decide is not worth our time, and the ashen leftovers of our anger and our pain, and you collapsed onto the bed, exhausted by your eloquence, molten tears glistening on your cheeks, asking me if I understood. Of course I understood, and of course I could never understand. As you gathered your tools, a lighter, a hammer, a can of paint, and dressed, a hoodie, a mask, gloves, all black, all tucked under a red jacket like you were just going for a walk, I read the word dangerous as it hovered about you. It was hard with spiked serifs, full and unyielding. I watched as it moved around your body, creating a protective shield, its sepia-toned reddish-brown reflecting your skin in all its rich beauty. "I'm going with you," I said, altering my glamour to match your casual anonymity. Your eyes darted up to meet mine, and I held your gaze, determination and sorrow conveyed in the briefest instant. You asked if I knew what you were going to do, what was going to happen. In my experience, it is rare to know what will happen in situations like these. If the intention is to bring chaos against forces of order, chaos most often wins out. But yes, my love, I was prepared for chaos. Later that night, as the first cop car burned and the crowd alternated between fury and triumph, you turned to me, your eyes exultant through the slits in your mask, and you kissed me, our lips separated by cloth. And you said, "I'm so glad you're here," and "I love you." As fireworks and flashbang grenades exploded, we found love blasting from a homemade sound system. Later, you explained that it was an anthem from another time, and to share it with me was special and grounding, and connected me to a tradition. I asked what you wanted in that moment, what the smell of fire and paint and the sound of sirens and shattered glass provoked in you. I was smiling beneath my balaclava as I asked, and feeling the power of the crowd flowing through me. At the beginning of the night, it was more diffuse. So many bodies with so many feelings, most conflictual, as each brought their own desires with them. But as the level of danger increased, as the violence spread and the hours passed, the numbers thinned, then swelled again, swarms of individuals and crews coalescing from the shadows and disappearing once more. Instead of the uncertainty of the earlier rally, these actions were precise, full of intent, and I could feel it all. Chaos, vengeance, destruction, liberation. The words were written on the walls, shouted from ragged throats, and clarified with fists and hammers. I spun in the middle of the street, marveling at the intensity of desire swirling around us. I have never experienced this special blend of love and rage among you humans, and certainly never in such quantity. It is common with my people, and informs much of our behavior, to act freely with friends and lovers against an enemy, and especially one who represents law and order, and so death and injustice, is as natural to us as breathing. And so, though we were brought together in tragedy, I could feel a sense of homecoming that night in the streets. I looked at you, my love, the question still on my lips, and your eyes shone, bright and hard as uncut diamonds, and you told me your desire. And I looked around at the bodies, at the undulating swarm, and I read the words issuing from each of their eyes. Some were bright, some dark, some were strong, and others faint. I closed my eyes and felt into their energies, their emotional yearnings, their plans and schemes. Finally, I looked at the police, counting them, feeling about their edges, too disgusted to get any closer. "I can do it, but I will need your help." Your eyes smiled, and that was it. That was all it took. We worked long and hard that night. At times I wove blankets of protection around groups or individuals. At others, crafted doorways to safety, while you resupplied familiar crews with fireworks and water. We fought the police and distracted them and pulled the shadows in close. It was not easy, but you know this. And I walked confidently, sure of each action, until the man came at you. I broke him, my love. I broke the man who came at you. My back was turned, closing a doorway to elsewhere as two tired comrades shouted their goodbyes, and I heard you cry out to me. It was a warning, for there was no fear in you that night. I looked and saw the uniform, saw the hate, saw the raised baton, and saw nothing else. I do not want you to think I broke his arm or leg, or even arms or legs. I broke him, my love. I broke him for you and for the boy who was murdered and all the others. and I broke him for the joy it brought me. I do not want to hide that from you, my love. I have always known who my enemies are, as have you. As dawn shone through and the adrenaline and energies faded, our heads nestled on soft pillows, the stench of the night thick on our skin, I reached out. Through the city, the alleyways, the boulevards, searching, testing, pushing. I found no one, not a friend, not a comrade, not a lover, not an ally. My eyes were heavy, yours already closed, and I whispered to you, it's done. Everyone made it home safe. And the briefest smile tugged at the corners of your lips. I know, my love. And the dreams took us.